right, guys? So, hey, I want to cover for you the differences between Banning Lewis Ranch and Meridian Ranch. Okay, both of them are north and east. Meridian Ranch, a little bit further out, that's in what's called Peyton. Banning Lewis Ranch, still in Colorado Springs. All right, positives and negatives about both, that's what we're going to cover. Howdy friends, Tulio here from the Peña team with Keller Williams. I'm here with my friend David. David, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. David is a client of mine and a friend. He's bought several properties with me throughout the Meridian Ranch area. And I just want your take on living in Meridian Ranch. What are a few things that you and your family really like and or just have appreciated about living here over the years?
Meridian Ranch, historically was a little further out and it had, larger property sizes. So that's what gravitated us here in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But now, it's got a really good shopping centers. We're opening up a King Soopers. It's a little bit further away, but once you get out here, I really enjoy it. We like it. That's, not as busy as in the city. I know our Walmart's not as busy as that it is in the city.
How about some amenities? What are the amenities that you see that exist here at Meridian Ranch? Maybe your family uses them or don't use them, but what's out here?
Well, we have several rec centers with indoor swimming pools and outdoor swimming pools, and there is even a lazy river in the Meridian Ranch Club. I know a lot of residents enjoy that. My wife does Zumba there and has multiple classes she goes do weekly for exercising. So, that's always a plus. Mm-hmm. I personally am not too much into exercising, so I don't take advantage of that. But, Meridian Ranch is a wonderful neighborhood and people seem friendly and we enjoy it.
A big part of it was built around a golf course, wasn't it?
True. Yep. There's a lot of golf course house out here in Meridian Ranch. Wonderful views. Grass is green. A lot of wildlife you see walking the course. During the day, and a lot of people enjoy the golf courses.
And some of the builders have done some unique concepts with garages. You've got one of those. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of builders that build RV garages, that are part of the house. Those are really nice if you have a big RV. Some of the lots in the estates have the ability to build single standalone structures and garages that are not part of the house since there's a lot of, bigger lot sizes in the estates. They are building a lot of houses to the east and that will become available and those are, from half acre or quarter acre all the way to 1 acre lots. So.
Okay. And if you had to name a couple of negatives, okay, and I know there's nothing horribly negative, but a couple of negatives about being out here in Meridian Ranch.
Whatever negatives we have, I think are the same negatives that you'd have in any other neighborhood. Personally, I think what probably drives me nuts the most is when people have issues with their neighbors, they get on Facebook or Nextdoor and they don't really go and communicate with their neighbors. So I encourage everybody to get outside and meet your neighbors and don't be so quick to jump on social media. I think that'd probably be my biggest pet peeve.
Okay. And you're a little further out, so if you had to go to downtown, how long would it take to get to downtown Colorado Springs?
Probably be 30 minutes, 35 minutes, depending on the time of the day. That would be your average, I think, if you went, at a, non-traffic time. Okay.
And would you say maybe it's a little windier out here?
It can be, although I like the wind. But yeah, it can be a little windier. Historically, it was a little windier because everything was more open, right? Their houses were further apart and, there wasn't as much building. But I think the wind has actually maybe become incomparable because there's, more houses now and it breaks the wind, I think. So depending on what neighborhood you're in, if you have some acreage, then you'll definitely feel the wind. And it does seem like, because we're at 7,000 feet here at Meridian Ranch, that the weather is a little colder, possibly a little bit more snowier usually. It's amazing that we're at a higher elevation here than many places that are right on the foothills of the mountains because it does gradually slope up to 7,000 feet in Meridian Ranch.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for sharing with me. I really appreciate that insight. Now you guys know a little bit more about Meridian Ranch. If you like this information, make sure to follow, like, or subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you more. Thanks a lot.
See you.
All right, howdy friends. Tulio here from the Peña team at Keller Williams. Hey, I'm with a couple of friends of mine, Kevin and Allison, and they live in Banning Lewis Ranch. They've lived here for a couple of years now, and I just want to ask you guys, what are some of the things that you and your children have really enjoyed about living in Banning Lewis? Why don't you go first, Allison?
We love the school. It's been amazing. They're at Banning Lewis Ranch Academy. and they're in 2nd and 4th grade, and they're loving it. We also love all the activities and the sense of community we get here. Lots of concerts and events, and it's just very family oriented, and that's exactly what we were looking for as a family who moves around a lot. We wanted that sense of community, and we certainly got that right away.
Nice. Now, Kevin, you and I spoke earlier, and you told me a little bit about the schools. Share a little bit about the different offerings that Banning has for schools.
Sure. At Banning, there's 3 charter schools in the community, all walking distance, and the kids can go to school K through 12. So kindergarten through high school. There's 3 charter schools, 2 elementary to middle schools, and then one high school that's charter, which is great. And the kids can walk there. There's a lot of activities after school. Our son plays sports, but he also does the cello. He does Boy Scouts all right at the school, which is awesome.
So there's, I've noticed, because as a realtor, I've visited the community quite a bit. There's lots of trails through here, right? Like kids can walk this stuff pretty easily here, right?
Right.
Yeah, very dog friendly.
Yeah, dog friendly parks, dog park. In the summer, there's a pool, and then there's also a separate splash pad for the little ones. So it's really got everything you need here. And I work at Peterson, and so right down Mount Shuffle, I'm on the base in 10 minutes.
Very nice. Very nice. There's a clubhouse. I've seen a fitness center in there as well. What kind of events does the community, the HOA or the Metro District, whatever it is here, what do they organize in the spring or summer for families that take part in?
They have concerts during the summer, and then they'll have like barbecues or like a fall festival type thing.
Hot air
Easter
balloon.
Bunny, Santa.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
All right, now I think Banning Lewis is a fabulous neighborhood. If you're not familiar with it, it's kind of in the northern and eastern sector of Colorado Springs. If you had to say a couple of things that are negatives or not perfect or great about Banning, that's hard to find, I think. But what would a couple of things be that would be, we've covered positives. Let's cover a couple of negatives.
It's windy. We're in the plains.
It's windy,
Yeah.
okay.
The
Less trees. The trees aren't as mature here yet because it's still a relatively young neighborhood.
Right.
They're beautiful, but they're not very big. Yeah.
Right, so it can get a little windier is what Allison said.
Right. Yeah, and again, I work at Peterson, so if you're going to Fort Carson, it's a little bit longer. It's 30 minutes, but in other areas we've been stationed, 30 minutes is a dream to commute to work. So.
That's all relative to where you come from. So, like I said, north and east part of Colorado Springs. And what Kevin mentioned is if someone is stationed or has to work, say, out of Fort Carson, it's on the south end of the county. You know, so the good thing is we're in a big, small town. And everything's like within 30 minutes of each other. So, other than that, you have a dog. She's a mid-size dog. And I noticed the fences are not 6-foot privacy fences either. They look more like 4-foot, kind of split rail with some chicken wire in them if you want.
Right.
So I would assume.
Right. If you have a huge dog and it can giant leaps and bounds over the fence, then it may be problematic.
Yeah.
Right.
So hey, I guess as far as if there's negatives, those aren't too bad.
No, not at all.
Well, thank you guys. So those are just a few things about what makes it awesome to live in Banning Lewis Ranch, and a few things that if we have to call them negatives would be negatives. But Kevin and Allison, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Tulio.
All right,
thanks.
Okay, so now you know a little bit about both Meridian Ranch and Banning Lewis Ranch, and you heard from people who live in both neighborhoods, so you can decide which neighborhood is right for you. All right, you heard the positives and you heard a few negatives. Nothing too significant on the negatives, but hey guys, if you like what I bring you, please make sure to like, follow, or subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you more about what's awesome about Colorado Springs.